When paleontologists uncover fossilized bones in the ground, they can be all mixed up and broken. They have to put the bones back together and then try to reconstruct the skeleton. But it's hard to tell just by looking at the assembled fossils what it's most closely related to. For example, it could have belonged to a group of land-living animals or animals that lived in the water. Paleontologists have to study the fossilized body structures to see where it belongs on the evolutionary tree. Body structures have been passed down since the first living thing. So no matter where any two species are on the evolutionary tree, they will always share common structures. For example, salmon and giraffes are very different, but they both have backbones because they inherited this structure from a shared ancestor. Over time, populations separate and branch off into new groups of species. Species that branch off from a more recent common ancestor can share structures that no other species have. These are called diagnostic structures. When paleontologists find a diagnostic structure on a fossil, they can make inferences about what other group of species it shares ancestry with. This helps them figure out where the fossil belongs on the evolutionary tree. But diagnostic structures are not always obvious. They may just be little changes to existing structures. They could be as simple as a small ridge on the edge of a bone. Now, let's try to identify this unknown fossil using diagnostic structures. It is clearly an animal, but looking more closely, we can see that it has a backbone. That's a diagnostic structure for the vertebrate group. It has two holes in the skull behind each eye. That's a structure shared by all reptiles and no other species, so we know it's in the reptile group. Careful analysis shows this species has several skull bones that have joined together. The skull also has a small bone forming a ridge. These are all diagnostic structures for a group of reptiles called thalattosaurs. Now we can see how using diagnostic structures helps paleontologists figure out where species belong on the evolutionary tree. And this helps us understand the amazing diversity of life over time.